I was having trouble going live. It was saying live streaming not available right now. Don't know what that's about. There's a rainstorm, but that's not unusual to have rain in the summer. I was gonna go mow the lawn, but there goes the grass soaked. I'll have to wait now. I didn't want to cut wet grass from the dew. And right when I went outside, then so well, but I got a lot of hours left where I could do it. But yeah, you said frustrating, so that's frustrating, but not a big deal. But would be nice to get it mowed. Frustrating going 0-3 in this bourbon taste challenge. It is, but like I said, not exactly surprising. Not a surprising development. And the reason is that Ezra Brooks, introduced in 1957, well, it just tastes like regular old bourbon, which means it tastes like more or less like all the rest that I have. Now, a lot of people are going to judge it on the label. It's like, oh, I heard of that. That stuff's cheap. I know it's terrible. Well, you never had it. It's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, which means it has to be aged at least 2 years in new charred oak barrels, can have no flavoring or coloring added. I drank an IPA this morning, a so-called IPA. It was good, but just good. And that was the second time I tried it. I did a duo, and then I tried it solo. And that's made with flavoring. I'm like, is this a true IPA or is this a concocted IPA? I always say concocted. Another story, but it's kind of to the point, you know. But this came out in 1957. If you look at their old ad campaigns from the 1960s, they said it's as good as Jack Daniels. Like basically it's cheaper, but it tastes as good as Jack Daniels. That's debatable, but it is cheaper. I paid $10.96 for the $10.99 for this bottle, $10.99 for this bottle at International Market, Metairie, Louisiana. And this is a 10-year-old bottle. This is from 2015. Still produced. There's a website listing. If you click below, but you won't see anything but a list. It's just a list showing what they make. But then it gives some special details on it. And the details is that it's produced only for export these days. The little 50 milliliter bottles are for export. They don't say where. The 700 milliliter bottles are for Australian export. They don't list a 750 milliliter bottle, which is what I have, 750 milliliter. I checked the Australian website, like Ezra Brooks Australia or something like that, and they showed an updated bottle. It's a different label, but it's still 80 proof. Okay, so why does International Market have 10-year-old bottles fully stocked on the shelf? It was looked like 12 bottles to me. I don't know. Maybe they have boxes full of it in a warehouse. That's a huge place. It takes up almost an entire city block. So they have a wholesale club, a grocery store, and a strip mall called International Market Strip Mall. They have a karate studio, a tax place. I mean, it's huge. These people must be millionaires. And they've had that place open for 49 years. Now, this is Jim Beam Black. And that's where I bought this, International Market. This is a bottle that's from, I think, like 1998. I think this bottle is that old, but it's in good shape, isn't it? I think they have a warehouse where these bottles are just kept in boxes and they're never exposed to the air. You know what I'm saying? Like to light or anything. And they had put these on the shelf, and they must have had at least 6. And it was $32.99 for this huge bottle. And as soon as I saw it, I knew. It kind of made me gasp. It's a beautiful embossed bottle. I gasped. I was like, whoa, that's the old Jim Beam 8-year age. They don't make that anymore. And they don't. This was introduced in 1992. It was 86 proof, aged 8 years. In 2015, they replaced it with what they call Jim Beam Black Extra Age. And most of y'all probably remember the Jim Beam Black Extra, which some stores still have it in stock. So that's not that hard to find even now, even though it's been replaced for over a year. And now there's the current Jim Beam Black 7-year aged. I think it's 90 proof now, but I'd have to go look at my bottle. So this is very dark. Look how, I see why they call it black. It is dark. And that's the natural color. That is, you might say, they're adding coloring. Wrong. Straight bourbon cannot have coloring added. So there's no color added to it, okay? It's just that dark. Is the new one that dark? I don't know. I haven't examined the new bottle really. It is unavailable at that store now because people bought all of it. Slowly, it took about a year for them to sell all the bottles. I guess people didn't know what it was. At a glance, they might have thought it was just regular old Jim Beam Black, not an old variant of it. So I think $32.99 was a fair price for this huge bottle. Glass, not plastic. Let's see, 32. Now, if the sun comes out strong, I can still mow the lawn in a couple of hours. It'll dry up that rain. We needed rain, but let's see, $32.99 divided by $17.50 times $7.50. $14 a bottle. That's a lot cheaper than what black normally is. And they had the regular bottles too. When they had this big bottle, they had the regular size. Just the skinny. They were like skinny bottles. Jim Beam Black, the original, and but they were more expensive per ounce. Like you had to pay more per ounce. And I was like, I know this thing is good because I heard people say good things about it, so I'm gonna buy it. And I've been totally happy with it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna get it right. Danny P says, cheers, Herbie. And India says bourbon. I think he means bourbon. Okay. Yeah, you can see the Jim Beam Black is clearly darker. It's copper. And the Ezra Brooks is amber. They both come in clear glass. Not the best packaging. Green glass would be better. Brown glass would be the ideal glass because that'll keep light from damaging it. Yes, light can damage whiskey, although it's not as likely to happen as you get with beer. These beers will start smelling like a skunk that you ran over on the interstate or a country highway. But there's a cure for the skunkiness. If you just let the beer set out for 1 minute in a glass, the skunkiness will go away. I've learned that. Pour it out, let it set up for 1 minute, problem solved. But still, you don't want the light striking the hot oils and making it skunky. I'm going to have to close my eyes because if I glance and see the lighter color, I'm going to know it's the Ezra Brooks. Now, who started Ezra Brooks in 1957? I don't think it was Luxco. I don't know. I know Luxco owns it now. These companies change a lot. This is going to count for Wednesday, by the way. Yeah. Same thing, corn flour, charred oak, a little vanilla, maybe some fruitcake fruit in the Mylar bags that you can buy at the grocery store. I don't know. More candy corn over here, which is making me think Ezra Brooks, more candy corn that they give out at Halloween. which I don't mind, but I don't really like candy, period. I like chocolate bars, chocolate peanut butter, but candy, I don't like, I don't even like fruit. Like if somebody gave me grapes, I'd be like, oh, grapes. I like bananas because they're more like a starch, But fruit, watermelon, cherries, bananas, cantaloupe, watermelon, nah. I don't really eat it. I don't like it. I used to eat it ago. I never buy juice. I buy wine. And somebody asked me that, well, you drink wine and you drink those fruit-flavored beer products, but you don't like fruit. I said, exactly. I don't know. It's like if it's in a different format, I'll kind of like it. Taste time, cheers. I used to have a fruit tree in the backyard full of fruit every springtime, loaded with loquats. They call it loquats, also known as Japanese plums. Buckets full. I might have ate 5 of them. Gave them all away at work. Good fruit, but the hurricane blew that tree down. That was the end of that. All right, there's some huge loquat trees back there, but you need one of those hydraulic lifts to get to them. Those trees are so tall, you never get to the fruit. It tastes like regular bourbon, corn flour, or Dixie Lily yellow corn grits or something like that. Nothing remarkable, nothing bad, but just regular. Same. Maybe a little or sherry note, but they don't have sherry added. American blended whiskeys can have sherry added, but not these. These can't have that. 86 proof versus 80. 40% alcohol versus 43, big deal. It's not going to make a big difference. 3% alcohol is not going to make a big difference. 8-year age. Now, 8-year age versus just probably 4 years, but there's no age statement, so it could be something, above 4. That should make a difference, but medium body, dry finish, typical. Medium body, dry finish, typical. So I read these posts on the internet. Is the bourbon craze over? And then they'll make these ridiculous posts. Is bourbon dead? Oh, yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, it's dead. Like it's going to live forever. It's not dead. You clickbaiter. However, I think there's some truth to that because I think that the big boom, and booms are typically followed by a bust in our Federal Reserve system monetary scheme type of thing, the way that works. So, but just logically, that's what happens. Like with bourbon, people say, "Oh, I got to run down this and it." And I saw some yesterday coming into a store, Buffalo Trace. I said, "Look at," I'm saying this to myself. I didn't say it out loud. I said, "Look at all this Buffalo Trace." And I noticed they had one bottle of Blanton's, probably a special order for somebody, Ain't no way I'm paying $80 for no Blanton's. They used to be $55 every day. But when they went buck wild, everybody started paying all these elevated prices. I remember when Eagle Rare was $30. Eagle Rare 10-year was $30. So I think there's an impact. There's an impact with all of this. And then people start to say, no, I think I might have spent too much money over the last 10 years. And They won't say it out loud, but to themselves at home, they'll say, they all do kind of taste the same because they are made from corn, rye, malted barley, maybe some wheat. We know they're at least 51% corn. The other 49% is optional to the distiller. And so they might think to themselves, why am I shelling out all of this yayo? But it's not really a payoff on from what I'm seeing, so it's like beer. You say, well, what about beer? What about beer? Well, yeah, what about beer? Same old story. You think I'm not tired of paying all these sky high prices for this stuff that's not paying? I could have bought one today. Oh, it's special. It was special. It was made with some kind of Japanese rice and all of this. And I was like, yeah, they were trying to make it like a sake or something. I don't know what this thing was. It was wild. It was from Martin House. And Martin House is known for doing crazy stuff. Like they do it on purpose. Like they do just crazy stuff just to do it. But I was like, man, I don't know, $4.99 for a pint can. I was not feeling it. Was not feeling it. But when I saw Lagunitas IPA for $9.99 a 6-pack, then I was feeling it. You dig? So I think I know what it is. I think I know it now. All right. I think this is the Jim Beam Black. Oh, goodness. I got it right. Can you believe it? 1 win, 3 losses. You can roll that stone to the top of the hill. Oh man, can I get back to even? Possibly. I got people commenting. I don't know who these people are, Danny P, Herbie, RH. I use my real name on my channel, but people use aliases and they're all like, don't you remember me? They get insulted like on Facebook. John Boyd. Don't you remember me? I'm Mimi Ga on YouTube and Cryptic19 on Instagram, and I'm Elaboration 77 Tripe on Google Hangout. I'm like, I can't keep it all these alias names. I don't even know why you come up with these names. What is the thing? I mean, you say, well, I work in an important industry. I have an important job to protect. What? You work at a meat market in South Carolina where y'all sell, it's like a meat store and you have like a little takeout. I don't think they're going to come after you on that. I don't think you got 8 employees. I don't really, no, I'm not buying that. I just think you want to come up with creative avatars or whatever. But no, I can't remember. Honestly. And it's not to be insulting. I just can't not remember. I just, John Anili, I can remember that name. It's his actual name. I've met him in person many times. He's John Anili on Google Hangouts. He's John Anili on Facebook. He's John Anili on Instagram. He's John Anili on this. He's John Anili on that. So yeah, I can remember that. Is the Jim Beam Black truly better? I could tell them apart, but it wasn't that easy. First thing to consider, wasn't really that easy, but I was able to do it. Is it really better? I think that's subject to debate. I would probably give it an edge. I will give it an edge, but I would not say that it's any kind of great distance between the two. Of course, you could make a counter argument saying, why did you even make this video? 99.9% of your viewers cannot get these products. This was discontinued in 2015. This one was discontinued like a couple of years later, or not discontinued, but relegated to the Australian export market only. So what's the point? Well, I get that. That is a legitimate question. Like, what's the point of it? Well, the point is I have the bottles. You know, I do have the bottles. I did buy both of these at the same store. This bottle has a lot left, and it's going to take years to get through it. Look at that. It's going to take many years to get through it. $10.99. This bottle, even though I've been doing taste challenges on this thing for years, literally years. I don't know how long, but it ain't been just like the other day. I still have, look, most of this bottle is left. We talking, could I get 10 years out of it? I don't know about 10 years, but I'll say 5. I think 5. It sounds definitely feasible. So I think I could do 5 more years of taste challenges off of this product. So the answer is yeah, definitely I'm bringing them into play. You might live in an area where they got liquor stores that keep stuff on the shelves endlessly. It never changes. You might walk in there and be like, say, oh, look, I found it. I did. If I found it, that means you might find it. So, I mean, what am I talking about? I found Seagram's Canadian Hunter, and they still have bottles of it. I think they still have bottles of it, maybe 2 bottles or something, and for a good price, but we better not say too much. But I was in that store years ago, and I'm looking and I'm like, I'm just like froze up. I was just like in the store shopping, and I'm like, that's how I was, frozen. Because they had these bottles. They looked new, but you could tell they weren't new because like the gold part oxidized. It was turning kind of green looking, but it was Seagram's Canadian Hunter. And I was like, Seagram's Canadian Hunter. And I said to myself, I said, Seagram sold Canadian Hunter to Sazerac, Buffalo Trace today, you know, but Sazerac in 1989. I said, could these bottles be from 1989 or earlier? And I know, yes, especially how they look. And they had like the old thing on it, proof of purchase, you know, like they used to say, the little UPC code, proof of purchase, like you could clip it off and mail it in if you want to get like a sweepstakes entry or something. Well, I couldn't get over that. Could not get over it. And it was $8.99. People say, did you buy it? If I bought it. Of course I bought it. You think I'm crazy? So my friend David bought a bottle. I don't think he ever tried it yet. I was like, why you didn't try that? You know, what are we waiting on? What's the holdup? But so you can find things out there. It's amazing. Now with beer, well, you know, with beer, that's not going to hold up. I see people doing beer like, I'm going to try this Bourbon County Brand Stout from 2011. And then they drinking it. It's like, well, it tastes kind of old and like it went off. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's spoiled. Let's be honest. Beer is made to drink fresh, not to save. Some people's ideology notwithstanding. I get Bourbon County Brand Stout and I'll drink it like the week it came out. Although it might be on, it's weird, because you'll get it the week it came out. It just hit the shelves, and the thing been bottled 3 months ago. I don't know. It's like, why does it take three months to get to the store? But I know they wait till Black Friday, and you drink it fresh or relatively fresh. It's good. It's like so good, And I drank some aged ones, and they were like not that good. And this is the complaint I hear from people. They'll say it's hot. It's hot. Well, of course it's hot. It's 15% alcohol or 14.5 or 14.1. It depends year to year. What you think it's going to be? Mild? So that doesn't even hold water. That argument holds no, it's just not valid. You buying a 15% alcohol beer and you're going to say it's hot. Well, of course it's hot. But a lot of those guys, they don't drink hard liquor, so they don't even taste it. So they're not, but I think they drink a lot though. I think they drink in beer like at an outrageous pace. This is my impression. I see them on Facebook. They posting stuff all day long. But that's not my business. But I think if you tasting hard liquor like bourbon, especially, or scotch, then those especially bourbon, because that's what they do with the American beers. Then the heat and the flavors, they don't seem so aggressive towards you. You say, oh well, okay, and then it doesn't seem like an off-putting sensation or phenomena. It's just like, okay, should be hot. It's 14.2, So then you get used to it. I think that's a good exercise here. But you got to pace yourself. You can't. Everybody's pacing is not the same, and it could really cause obvious problems. Oh, I think it's going to work. I think the rain is going to stop. Well, it stopped, and I think around might be about 3 hours from now, I should be able to knock it out. It's too bad though. I would have loved to cut that grass crispy, dry, and then let the downpour come. But it'll be okay. All right, so the winner here, but just barely, Jim Beam Black. But I would not pay extra for it. I would just shop unit pricing on these two. Whatever one is cheaper. This is a theoretical thing anyway, because like I said, most people are never going to see either one of these products in the store. But they do exist because I know, but the Jim Beam Black is all gone. People gobbled that up. Once the word got out, that was it. My friend David was like, why you keep talking about that online? People watch the video and then everything is gone. I said, well, let them have it. What we're going to do, hoard it? But his contention was that it makes the price go up. Then the store starts charging more. That could be true. I don't know. But Ezra Brooks, yeah, they still have that. Unless somebody went and bought the whole shelf, the whole area, the whole stock. Joe Hill says, I recently purchased an Ochschlenkerle Roch beer, smoked beer from Germany. Never tried or heard of one before. Have you? I've done many reviews for the Ochschlenkerle Roch beer. And if you like smoked meat or whatever, you'll like it. Smoky Scotch. If that whole idea of smokiness is off-putting to you, yeah, you're gonna hate it. But that smokiness, the thing about that, it's kind of a gimmick, because you'll smell it and taste it. The first 2 or 3 sips, it's like, oh man, it smells so smoky, I can't believe it. Then like on the 4th sip, it's like the smokiness starts to dissipate, and then the rest of the beer just tastes like regular beer. So it's like an initial rush of smoke. It's like, oh wow, and then it dies away. True story. Great beer, Joe, but divisive. Definitely tastes like smoked meat. I happen to love that, says RH. And I do like that. And when I'm barbecuing, I'm always covering it up so the smoke will permeate the meat, No, I mean. So and those steaks that I made last week were so full of smoke. And I was so full, I was like, oh, how could you eat all that? And I don't buy that, but Oh, once a month. Okay, thanks. I love smoked meat, so I'm looking forward to it, trying it. Okay, Joe Hill in Canada. Oh, Joe Cobb's in Canada. I'm sorry. But let us know what you think about it. And it'll be interesting to find out. All right, y'all take care. The winner by just a hair, by a thread, Jim Beam Black. But remember, I think you've come out better shopping price, but then it's all theoretical because you can't find them anyway. All right, thanks. Bye bye.